Hello builders, my name is G. So when I let EU4 or 5 play in the background here while I kind of talk through some things, but this is the end of 1 week and also the end of the month. And it comes together in a great opportunity as I can maybe adjust the sound volume of this real quick. Just to kind of take stock of where I am and what I need to do better at, and kind of treat this as a kind of Scrum retrospective if we're kind of taking these day by day, right? Ooh, how interesting. So that's what it currently looks like, right? Then if I do this, maybe there was a change. I don't know. Actually, might just because of the wind. All right, cool. Sorry. Gameplay is just a background thing. So, a couple things to take stock of related to, business and where we're at and where I think the future is going to be going. So, I'm going to be showcasing 3 separate apps in the process. You probably saw a preview of all of them already in the intro. That I'm really going to be aiming for a shorts format, with long form being kind of a not that heavily involved on the view count, right? So I'm not going to be worrying too much about, maximizing views on long form content. Those are going to be there on the channel, but in terms of like trying to heavily exploit it or try to figure gaps, I think I'm going to be spending more time in creating long form and then trying to figure out how to recontextualize it in the short form format and really focus on that, or just create short form content from the get-go. And honestly, this video might be a way to kind of showcase that right off the bat, right? Be able to have gameplay like EU5 here on the top and be able to, examine different things. So, I'm not sure where Alba is or why it's whatever. So yeah, functionally here on the screen right away, as the music comes in, it's a little bit too loud. I'll try to adjust that later if possible. So yeah, honestly, showing this screen right here will hopefully display like what I'm currently working on with the application itself. So we have 2 sides here, and we have the desktop capture and we have the camera. Both of these are to create a singular MP4. So I'm actually going to stop the recording real quick and restart it, and just to showcase like the 2 separate MP4. So as you can see here inside of this folder, we have 2 separate things, right? We have the camera. Hello builders, my name is G. So when I let EU4 or 5 play in the back, that's me in just a webcam. And then we have the desktop. Hello builders, my name is G. So, which also has 2 audio tracks, right? So we can choose one or the other, and I generally use Camtasia Studio to record, and so I'll be able to, remove the audio from whichever one that I want, or be able to use it individually for either one if, I decide to just have the desktop video, whatever the case. But, so this was really important for me to do because I think that it was, in my normal content, I just kind of record myself in the corner, right? And it makes it a little bit hard to watch things. Now I can artificially insert it in that way, as I'll probably be doing. Not too difficult. The other application, if I can just pull it up, is SiftCut, which I'm not sure actually how it's supposed to work, at least on Windows. So this might be an opportunity for me to switch over to like the Mac OS side and just show a recording of SiftCut actually working. But SiftCut, the goal of it is to have the subject of conversation on the top, and then along the bottom have my body in the webcam view, right? And then a transcript in the middle, and then the thing that I'm actually going to add to it is like a little title along the top, and then like maybe it can have a marquee where it eventually switches to like, subscribe, some form of call to action, right? So yeah, just a way to be able to scale and make easier the shorts production, so I can focus on, creating scripts, recording, stuff that's more manual, right? And then obviously there's a third one that I created. Doesn't have anything to do with content creation, but I just thought would be interesting to take a look at. Recording on Windows, again, more issues with Windows development. It's really challenging because somehow on Mac OS, computer use is a lot easier to get working because of the quirks between WSL. As you can see, this application has a funky outline going around it, and that's because it loaded on the Ubuntu side, so it's a Linux style Electron app, and so it has this kind of Linux style thing. Like if we just kind of look at like what a traditional Windows app is, right? I think you're well used to it. It has the minimize, maximize, exit, and a little bit cleaner on the edges, right? Compared to Linux, which is, for engineering eyes only, right? So, or at least less consumer friendly side. So, ultimately, what it's supposed to do is just like you can either work with a reference photo, as it says here, and then just provide a guided path for Codex to operate Blender in computer use and be able to have a specific interface so that if you're using Codex, right, it's not built to work with 3D, and so this is just a very narrow sliced version of Codex, but built into the Blender workflow, so we can create 3D models and then iterate them as needed. So we can either have reference photo mode, where basically a user selects a reference photo, or they can find one with Codex using like web search or generate a photo, or we can use a text prompt. So just from a base, like pull something out of my imagination, stick it there. Personally, I would recommend like finding references with Codex, but let's just say like you want an evergreen thing, not based off of something that already exists. You want something abstract, or you want something you want to explore a solution space, then text prompt is your thing. So ultimately, there were 3 apps that I kind of built and kind of got into a working state on Mac OS. On Windows, unfortunately, not as easy, which has been a barrier. But just thinking about like what am I really focusing on for the next week, and what I really want to do for August, because I think that those are good things to kind of factor into and kind of create goals for myself, right, as we extend into the next month. And as you can see in the time on the screen there, I'm recording this very late at night because I'm really trying hard to get this video out there, right? But ultimately trying to think about more content, more things related to things that I actually enjoy talking about, because tutorials with AI coming in kind of sucked the joy out of educating in that sense, because I feel like it was just like putting effort into something that ultimately most people aren't going to be doing. And I tried angling a lot of the work, tutorials and walkthroughs and stuff towards like, hey, AI really struggles at this, but then new model comes out and then it no longer struggles at those things. But then there's new struggles and things get out of date pretty quick, which is what the shorts format is good for, right? Like if I see something that's like an error that constantly is brought up, I can create a short form piece of content, right, 3 minutes or less, to really focus on like, hey, this is how you can solve these particular issues. So really focusing on short form content. I'm gonna try to release like I think something smart, it would be like 3 shorts by the end of next week. So by Friday of next week, we can have a roundup and talk about the content that I pushed out on shorts, 3 of them, and then by the end, I'd like to do 1 short a day, right, in something, and the more that I can do, the better. So that would be 3 weeks of 5, so 15 plus 3, so 18. So 18 shorts by the end of August, and I'd like for across all of them, let's just put a mild goal, 1,000 views across all of them, and I'm currently at 1,104 subscribers, so let's just aim for 1,200. So that's what I'm going to be aiming towards. and trying to get at, and we'll see how well I am at getting to there, right? So revenue, not really too concerned about it. I think that with SiftCut, I think packaging it on the web and being able to run a managed SaaS. So all of these are open source, by the way. What I showed you is going to be just open source. You can just grab them from my GitHub and iterate on them. You know, go wild, right? But with FormSeed, right, and SiftCut, I think there's opportunities to package those into a SaaS format and run them in the web as managed services. And I think that that's just an opportunity to monetize these particular things. Split capture, it's a straight fork of OBS to do these two things. I don't feel like it'll be fine as an open source. Maybe it contributes to a different project, but ultimately not something that I think would be too important. I am a little bit of an issue there. So I am a Habsburg because I married into that family as a female ruler during a period of time ago. But unfortunately, that puts me into a PU with Austria, and they are slightly stronger. I'm trying to analyze some people to hopefully get a little bit better. Anyways, video games aside. Yeah, so those are the goals that I've set for myself. I would like to make my first dollar in August. So whether it's with these apps, with a video game, or something in between, I'd like to get my first dollar. And, caveat, because I've been able to earn money before with various apps, but it's been kind of like a, hey, I'm here to help you out. I recognize the email, right? Type of thing. So it hasn't been like a net new, completely stranger, like believes in my product or, wants to support my brand or support the message behind Build in Public. Those are the things that I would more appreciate, someone contributing in that way. So, anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed me putting myself out here, trying to be transparent, trying to build in public, and ultimately, hopefully inspire someone to build on their own. But thank you so much for watching. Comment down below what content you'd like to see me do. Hit the notification bell to see next week's vlogs or the first short form content that I end up pushing out there. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, everyone.